Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're zeroing in on literally one of the most talked about remote jobs out there right now, Apple's remote support roles for 2026. Specifically, their Apple Support College Advisor program. Now, if you've been anywhere near career advice channels lately, you've definitely seen some wild claims about this gig. So our goal with today's explainer is to cut right through that noise. We're going to separate the official facts from the viral fiction and give you a crystal clear look at what this opportunity actually is.
Okay, I want to start right off the bat with this viral claim that's been blown up on social media. Quote, Apple ships you up to $2,500 worth of gear, a brand new MacBook, 100% yours to keep. Wow, right? I mean, it sounds like an absolute dream. Getting top-tier tech just for getting hired, and it's yours forever? But we have to ask, is this remote dream job actually real, or is it just pure engagement bait?
So here's our game plan for today's explainer. First, we'll fact-check those viral claims, then dig into the real college program, check out the pay and perks, look at the US versus India opportunities, break down the interview process and the STAR method, and wrap up with how to apply safely without getting scammed. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Fact-checking viral claims. Sorting myth from reality.
So, contrasting that massive viral laptop myth directly with Apple's official FAQ, we actually get a totally different story. The claim is a free MacBook and iPhone to keep forever. But the official reality? Apple provides an iMac and a headset. And here's the kicker. They explicitly state, this equipment is exclusively for your advisor work. So no, you aren't getting a free laptop to keep. You're getting a workstation to actually do your job.
Then there's the money. The rumors aggressively push this $28 an hour figure. But hold on, we really shouldn't take that as gospel. If you look at verified applicant reports, the real range sits more between $20 and $27 an hour, which mostly depends on where you live. Plus, Built-in's 2026 corporate data points to a very realistic $22 an hour floor. Don't get me wrong, that is incredibly competitive pay for a student job. But that $28 claim, yeah, totally unverified. So don't make that your baseline expectation.
Moving on to Section 2, the real college program. Who is eligible?
All right, let's look at what Apple officially confirms you need to even be considered. First up, you have to be actively enrolled at a participating university, and you need to commit to the program for a minimum of 12 months. Now, Apple prefers a cumulative GPA of 2.7 or higher, so basically maintaining around a B- average, and honestly, they often use that as a hard filter in their system. You also got to prove you can juggle your classes alongside the work schedule. Oh, and here's a really cool part. It's open to all majors. You don't need to be a tech wizard or a computer science student. Humanities, business, arts, everyone is welcome.
But you really need to know what you're up against. 2%. Yeah, just 2%. That's the estimated acceptance rate for competitive campus locations in 2026 based on applicant flow data. Because remote work is just so incredibly popular right now, these positions get tens of thousands of applications. So, while it's absolutely not a scam, it is wildly competitive.
Section 3. Pay, perks, and equipment. The true benefits.
Okay, looking past just the hourly wage, the official corporate perks confirmed by Apple and backed up by employee reports offer some massive value. Even as a part-time student employee, you get robust health, dental, and vision insurance. You also get solid product discounts and paid time away. There's tuition assistance, which is a huge deal, and a 15% discount through their employee stock purchase plan, so you can actually build some equity. Plus, they fully pay for your training, and yes, they'll even reimburse you for your internet service.
But hey, it's not all just sunshine and stock options. Take a look at this actual employee feedback from Reddit, talking about the home office requirement. They said, the real big issue I found was actually working from home. Because isolation and cabin fever is a real damn thing. Set up some kind of office space. They aren't kidding. You literally cannot just work from your bed in pajamas. Apple officially mandates a quiet, dedicated workspace with a hardwired Ethernet connection. So you really have to prepare for that, both physically and mentally.
Which brings us to Section 4, US versus India opportunities, geographic realities.
Let's talk geography for a second, because this whole remote setup is highly specific to certain regions and it looks really different depending on where you live. In the US and Canada, the direct hire remote college program is fully available. But in India? The Apple opportunities listed lean heavily toward in-person retail roles like genius or technical specialist or specialized operations jobs. The direct entry-level remote support roles just aren't mirrored exactly the same way globally. So what does this actually mean if you're outside the US and Canada? Well, remote Apple support in those regions is very often handled by third-party BPO contractors, companies like Concentrix or FoundEver. If you're an international viewer looking for these specific remote roles, just know you might end up applying to an outsourced partner, not directly to Apple. And that means the pay and benefits will reflect that contractor's policies, not Apple's direct corporate structure.
Section 5, Interviews in the STAR Method, How to Fast Track.
All right, how do you actually get your foot in the door? According to recent applicants, there is a pretty clear three-step pipeline. Step 1 is the online application, which relies heavily on an automated resume screen. Step 2 is a 30-minute phone screen that's super focused on behavioral questions and customer service scenarios. And finally, Step 3 is a 1-hour virtual role-play interview where you have to prove your communication skills live.
Now, to absolutely nail those interviews, successful applicants heavily recommend using the STAR method. Basically, you structure your answers by outlining the situation, the task you faced, the action you took, and the result you achieved. I do want to make it super clear, though, this is just a highly recommended preparation technique, not an official Apple requirement. But trust me, it is absolutely the best way to keep your answers concise and impactful when they throw those behavioral questions at you.
And what are you going to be role-playing exactly? Well, this awesome employee quote hits the nail on the head regarding the day-to-day work. Quote, 99% of your interactions will be iOS-based, helping people reset Apple IDs. You've got to be creative with problem solving. That is exactly the kind of scenario you need to prep for. You don't need to be a hardcore software engineer. What you really need is patience, empathy, and the ability to calmly guide frustrated people through basic everyday tech hiccups, like, helping someone reset a password they've forgotten for the 5th time.
So, summarizing what applicants say you actually need to survive that automated resume screen, first off, skip the cover letter. High-volume recruiters just aren't going to read it. Instead, focus on a perfectly optimized resume. Make sure to highlight customer-facing metrics, like instead of just saying worked retail, say resolved 40 customer issues per shift. Definitely list any technical troubleshooting experience you've got. You also need to demonstrate a typing speed of around 40 to 60 words per minute, which is critical for handling chats. And finally, make sure your university graduation date is clearly stated on your resume, because if the system thinks you don't have at least 12 months left in school, it might just auto-reject you.
Section 6, Applying Safely and Avoiding Scams. Okay, before you rush off to apply, this is absolutely crucial. The internet is flooded with fake remote job postings preying on people right now. So here is your scam warning. Legitimate AppleJobs will never, ever ask you for a fee to secure a position. Plus, Apple does not run a per-ticket freelance support marketplace. So if someone offers you gig-style contract work fixing Apple devices for a per-ticket fee, run. That is not an official Apple remote job.
To make sure you are 100% safe, only apply through official sources. Start your search directly at jobs.apple.com. You're going to want to search for terms like at-home advisor or AppleCare College Program. And remember what we talked about earlier with geography. Make sure you filter specifically by your country or your university to find the real active job requisitions Apple is actually hiring for right now.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. It might not be the viral $28 an hour gig with a free MacBook to keep forever. But when you look at the reality, the verified competitive pay, the incredible corporate benefits, tuition assistance, and having a powerhouse like Apple on your resume before you even graduate, is Apple's Real College program the perfect launchpad for your career. Weigh the facts, get that resume polished, and decide if you're ready to take the leap. Thanks so much for joining me on today's explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.